You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. It's good to be here with you this afternoon. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon on the East Coast, and I'm telling you the weather is going to be beautiful all the holiday weekend. We've got another exciting show planned for you today. Our guest is evangelist Paulette Holloway. She's the CEO of Christian Women's Expo International, a co-author of a new book entitled Reinvented to Rise. I want to say hello to Paulette. How are you today, Paulette?
I am doing wonderfully, Lyndia. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And we have another surprise for you all. Missing in action for a few weeks because she went to take care of her mom and her mom passed. We have the one and only Dr. Julianne Malveaux on today. She called me and said she's available, and she's out there in California, and she's going to talk to us now. Dr. Julianne, tell us where you are and tell us what's going on in politics. And welcome back, too.
Thank you. I miss y'all. I always enjoy my Fridays, and now, as I've shared with so many people, the Dean of Ethnic Studies, the founding Dean of the College of Ethnic Studies at Cal State, L.A. It's a very exciting time, and I will miss Washington, although I'll be back and forth from there. But I'll still miss it because you couldn't make this stuff up. You truly could not make this stuff up. I'm talking about the Supreme Court saying that states can impose voting restrictions, whether they hurt people of color or not. They put this out there at a vote of 6-3 along ideological lines. Judge Elena Kagan was, so brilliant in her written dissent, where she talked about this being a body blow to democracy. Many others. People are mobilizing. I know that some black women have been meeting at the National Council of Negro Women around this, the Black Women's Roundtable around this. The challenge is that, and President Biden has said this was an assault against voting rights. But, we have the lawsuit in Georgia, and this may affect the Georgia lawsuit, because they basically are saying you can do whatever you want to people. What's his name? Robert said, if somebody had to travel a little further, that's no big deal. If this happens, that's no big deal. But there are 40-some states who are going to be passing laws just like this. And if they're contested to the Supreme Court, the court has already shown their hand on what they plan to do. So a lot of work for us to do, a lot of work. Like I said, some of this stuff you can't make up. Who would think that in the wake of the murder of George Floyd that they will be rolling back voting rights? Who would think that? But then there's some good news, Lyndia. Today we got the jobs report. I love my first Fridays when the unemployment rate report comes out. 850,000 new jobs. At the rate we're going, according to economists at the Economic Policy Institute, we should have a full recovery from Corona by the end of 2022. Earnings are up, and that's a good thing. A lot of people are complaining. A lot of these employers are complaining I have to pay too much for my workers. Well, you should have been paying them the whole time. This is not new information. So we've got those kind of complaints. But here's the problem for us, for black people. Our unemployment rates are not falling as quickly as other people's are. So while you have a lot of people say, this is great, this is wonderful, it's going to be over by 2022, what about black people? It's not so clear. Also, we know that there are shortfalls in certain industries. We see them, leisure and hospitality, education and health. Now, education is going to bounce back. I'm walking around a campus now that's empty. It's about empty. But it will come back. It probably won't come back this semester. It'll probably come back next semester. That's what most educators are saying. So some people are still sitting out. But these people are talking about labor shortages. They have to pay too much. Just pay. You get paid, so pay the people. That's how it goes. 3 jobs have been since February, and that's good news. The Biden-Harris team has had a really strong opening few months. Other couple of things to mention. Certainly, today Jen Psaki noted that there's a death penalty moratorium. Merrick Garland has said he wants to study the effects of these drugs. Usually when you get the death penalty, they give you this drug, it kills you. And they're wondering if the effects of the drugs have side effects that are considered cruel and unusual punishment. So until they figure that out, no one will be killed on death row. Let's not forget that the Orange Man, in the last few months of his presidency, killed 13 people after there have been no deaths for years. So this is a contrast that we have. And finally, there's been a lot of flap of the lips about Vice President Harris and her office. People are saying that it's dysfunctional, that she's difficult, or that another sister, Tina Flournoy, that she's one of the color girls, that she too is difficult. So they're blaming them. And I'm just wondering, maybe you and our sister Paulette can opine on this when you're talking. Would they talk like this about men?
No.
You know, I mean,
I can tell you now, no, it's ridiculous.
So Politico started with it. They said they interviewed 22 people, many of whom were anonymous, and then CNN picked the story up. And it's almost like an attempt to further tarnish this woman's reputation. Mm-hmm. You know, finally, you called it the holiday weekend, Lindy. This ain't no holiday. It's the 4th of You Lied, America. You lied about us.
I forgot about that. Dr. Julian, thank you for reminding me.
You know how I am. And this Frederick Douglass,
July
10th, 1852 said, "What to the Negro is your 4th of July?"
I'm telling you, that's right. Yes, right.
So y'all eat your burned meat if you want to. Hang out with your family if you want to. But don't play that Star Spangled Banner that was written by a slaveholder who said that black people were inferior and deficient. That was Francis Scott Key, the author of the Star Spangled Banner. And I'll let you go there.
All right. We're so glad to have you back. My daughter was so happy when I told her you were going to be on today, because everybody always enjoys.
Well, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the show. And like I said, this is not a holiday nor a celebration. It's a time for some black folks to get sick eating too much meat.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Julian. We're so happy to have you back. I know you still have to funeralize your mom, and we'll be talking to you on Fridays when we can. Thank you so much for calling in.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. You're listening to the Lindy Grant Show. We just finished talking politics with our own Dr. Julian Malvo. Now we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to evangelist Paulette Holloway, Rush out of Chicago, Illinois. Back in a moment.
Honestly, my care coach at AmeriHealth changed my life. I quit going to the doctor a long time ago. I was tired of leaving the doctor confused by all the medical talk with no explanation. It was frustrating. I didn't have anybody to help me understand stuff or give me advice. So like I said, I just stopped going.
So what changed for you?
My care coach. Having one-on-one support from someone through AmeriHealth really helped me. She cared about me so much and listened to me too. What I love the most is that she walks me through the options and breaks things down, so I really understand. She even calls just to check on me. Because of her, I feel like I finally get it, and I can take care of myself. But if I need her, she's always there.
AmeriHealth cares, and we believe our members deserve a care coach. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected to your care coach. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lydia Grant.
Ida B. Wells, born into enslavement, was a journalist and activist. An avid reader, she read through the entire Bible many times. Wells was once asked to leave the ladies' car and sit in the colored train. She refused, and train officials pushed her. Ida B. Wells retaliated, but was pushed off the train at the next stop. A crowd of whites applauded. She vowed to get even. 3 of her close friends were lynched for opening businesses that cut into profits of whites. Everything changed for Wells. She spoke out internationally against lynching of blacks for the rest of her life. Through her efforts, lynching in America nearly disappeared by the time of her death. and NAACP founder, we salute Ida B. Wells for Women's History Month.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
And we are back. You're listening to the Lyndia Grant Show here on Spirit 1340, WYCB in the Washington, D.C. area. I am introducing to you now my friend and former church member, Evangelist Paulette Holloway Rush. She is a licensed evangelist and minister. She is an author of a couple of books. Now this is going to be her third that I know of. It may be more. She's a wife and a mother of 7. She is the proud grandmother of 11. For more than 30 years, she has served as an evangelist, teacher, mentor, and encourager, with nearly 20 years of those as a missionary traveling around the world spanning 4 continents. She has served on the local and area boards of Aglow International and currently serves together with her husband, Congressman Elder Bobby L. Rush, pastor of Beloved Community Church of God in Christ in Chicago, Illinois. Paulette, I'm going to skip your professional background. I know she's a social worker and she has her master's degree, but I want to go on and talk about you being the co-author of a new book that's coming out, and the new book is entitled Reinvented to Rise, and the author of the book is Alethia Tucker, and I wanted to have her on today as my guest. Alethia Tucker is an international motivational speaker, Amazon #1 best-selling author, and empowering coach who speaks from her soul to motivate and encourage her audiences. I'm looking forward to meeting Alethia. I'm so glad she's here in the D.C. area. And the book, I'm going to save this for Paulette. I won't go into any more of the details that you sent me. Now, I'm just going to go right into the interview and talk to you a little bit about it. First thing I want to know is how in the world did this wonderful opportunity come along, Paulette? Tell us how this came about.
Well, actually, because Alethia and I are old friends, we met back in the late 70s, early 80s when I became a member of Springfield Baptist Church right there in Washington, D.C. We sang alto together in the Voices of Zion, and we've been prayer partners now for some 30 years. And Alethia has just had an amazing life and career and pursuing just goals that have encouraged so many other women. And when she came up with this idea, the Lord gave her this vision of doing this anthology. She contacted several of us. Turns out that there are 15 of us. She contacted us and said, here's what I want to do. Would you be interested in co-authoring with me? And so Reinvented to Rise kind of fell into my lap from that perspective. Alethia knew that my life was one that I probably have reinvented myself so many times I can't tell you.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
She invited me to be
I even know about one.
So, yes. So I'm excited to be a part of this.
And then the goals of the book are to help other women do what you all been doing, probably.
Well, it's actually to inspire. I mean, it's like individuals of all ages. This is the target audience is that broad. It's for anybody who needs to be inspired. And those of us who have come together to put this book together are women who have stories to tell that we pray are inspirational, but we basically want people to know that even though you may have been down, you have been knocked down, fallen down, got down on your own, however you got there, that there is always this hope that you can rise again, that you can come out of that place and reinvent yourself. You don't even have to wait for somebody else to do it for you, that you can reinvent yourself to rise to a place of health and growth and progress.
Oh, my God, it's so good. I can't wait to get a copy. This sounds like it's a very good read, especially with people having chapters like that, you know. Well, you told us a little bit about the author already, so I have invited her to come back after the book. When is the book coming out?
It actually does its launch on July 9, and we're excited about that. It's going to officially hit the public arena on July the 9th, and we're excited about working with a book publishing seller, and for people who want to buy the book, who want to get the hard copy, they can go to lulu.com, which is LULU.com, and the book will be available after July the 9th. But we're also asking people to help us make this a bestseller. And the way that people can do that for us is if they would be willing, on July 9th through July 11th, go to Amazon.com, buy the ebook. It's going to cost you $1.99. Okay, I'm really sorry about that part because that is not the cost for the book. That is simply a way for you to support us to become best-selling authors. Amazon is amazing. You can become a best-selling author if enough people buy your ebook when it first hits the market. So we're asking everybody, your mama, your cousin, your girlfriend, people you don't even like, tell them go to Amazon.com and buy the ebook so that
right.
all 15 of us would then be able to become best-selling authors, which is always a great status symbol when you're an author, so that the next work that you do is more likely to sell more easily.
Yes, indeed. I love that. Paulette, tell us a little bit about your chapter. I know you can't tell us details, but enough for people to tease them to make them want to buy it and read it.
Okay, well, the particular chapter that I focused on, and I'm going to be a little silly and say, I had to choose something that wouldn't get all the other people in my life in trouble. So the particular chapter that I focused on, it's really demonstrating how important it is to live the life that your principles dictate. I literally had to reinvent myself because of my own principles, the principles that I'm dedicated to, that got me in trouble. It caused me to not be able to satisfy the folk I was working for. And so it became a challenge. And because I couldn't hang with what they wanted, I decided I needed to do something differently. So I left there, and I had to reinvent in order to be able to keep eating. And that's basically the gist of my chapter, just showing people that even though your principles may be important to you, they're not necessarily important to the next person. But if they're important to you, you stick to them. And if you stick to them, then you've got to make a decision based on your principles. And if you do that, God's going to make a way for you to come through that thing all right. And it just shows you got to have some courage to do that. You certainly got to have some faith, but you also got to be willing to just take a chance and grow if you want to succeed. So that's kind of the gist of it.
Yes, that sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Now, Paulette, just because I have a few more minutes, and I know you so well, you have a couple other books, and I thought I'd give you a chance to sell some of those if you still have them available. Tell us about your, this is not her first rodeo, you all. I remember Tea with God, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but I know it's 2 books.
Yeah, Tea with God came out with God, Everyday Encounters is its official name. It came out in 2007, and it is still available, and people are still actually buying it. And my second book, Thieves of Intimacy, came out in 2014. And, again, that one is still available. They're both available on Amazon. But if people really want to get a signed copy, they have to come through me. So people can shoot me an email and give me the information, and I'm happy to sign a copy and send it back to whomever. They're very, very, very inspirational books, both of them. One of them is a little bit more work. Thieves of Intimacy actually costs you a little bit more work because you have to be a little more introspective. But Tea with God is just a fun book of everyday encounters with the Lord and encouraging and inspiring other folk that, if he does it for one person, he'll do it for you too. But if people want to get copies of that and they want it signed, they can shoot me an email at hollowayp@aol.com, or they can inbox me on my Facebook page.
And then, Paulette, last thing, just so that, I can talk to you a little bit about it. Tell us how you like being in Chicago, and is this your first time living there? Tell us about that transition from D.C. to the Chicago area.
Oh, wow. Well, this is definitely my first time living in Chicago. It was actually only my second time ever coming to Chicago when I made this move. But, I left everything that I knew that was familiar and comfortable in Washington, D.C., and my husband tells me that I'm the only person that he's ever met that has moved on the airplane. So that lets you know about how much I brought with me when I came. You
did with your book, this book title, Reinvented to Rise. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Not one stick of furniture, nothing. Sold my car. I mean, literally just came to Chicago to this brand new life that I had no idea I would ever have walked into. If somebody had asked me, say, 5 years ago, if I was ever going to remarry and move to Chicago after I finished laughing at them, then I would have told them how crazy they are. And here I am. But Chicago is a wonderful city. It's a foodie city. I mean, my goodness, it's every kind of cuisine imaginable, and it's all delicious. It's great museums. It's shopping is wonderful. It's a great place to live. The one thing, though, is that the weather is just as schizophrenic as it can be. I'm telling you, it is said here that if you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes. And I want you to know that is really true, because it'll go from cold to hot to stormy.
So it's not always what they call the frozen city. It's got doing a lot of different things, huh?
Oh, my goodness. Sometimes it's the wind city. Sometimes it's the chilly city. Sometimes it's, it can be anything. Like right now it's sunny and gorgeous, and I expect it'll be different by tomorrow.
Well, I am just so happy that you could be with us here today. And tell us what the congressman has been up to. You and I had talked about that a little bit. I thought you all were here in Washington quite a bit, and you tell me you all been able to be in Chicago more than usual.
Absolutely. He has been in Chicago since COVID, actually, and he's been voting by proxy and actually working out of his district office and working at the House here. So I'm kind of the in-house support. And, he's been working on several bills that have actually just gone forward. So he has been as busy as if he had been in Washington, D.C. He has not missed a beat. I think he might even be busier because he's here in the district with his constituents. And so he's attending more events and, being more accessible. So I think he may even be working harder.
That's good. Wonderful. Paulette, the last thing, just give us a close on the Reinvented to Rise, and then give them an email address or a phone number or something for them to be able to contact you in case they want to buy any of these books.
Okay, I can do that. And don't forget us on Amazon.com starting on July 9th through July 11th. Please buy that ebook so that we can become best-selling authors. We would love that. And if you would, on July 9th, after the launch, you can go to lulu.com, and you will be able to click on the author of your choice and purchase that specific author's book and get an autographed copy. But we're also doing a pre-sale just for anybody who wants to get in on the goods before the book actually hits. We're doing a pre-sale, and pre-sale forms are available for anybody who wants to buy their book in advance. The book's actually selling for $20, and if you do a pre-order, then you receive a bonus gift, a digital Reinvent to Rise journal. And you can get that simply by going to my Facebook page, Paulette Holloway Rush, and the link is there if you want to do a pre-order. Or you can certainly just send me an email at hollowayp@aol.com, and I'm happy to forward you that link. So either way, you should be able to get done what you need to get done. We're just hoping that everybody will just support us because we believe that this is a work that will inspire lots of people.
Wonderful, wonderful.
2 minutes left.
Looking forward to it, Paulette. Thank you so much for being our guest today. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Linda. I always enjoy being with you, so I appreciate you as well.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you're listening to the Linda Grant Show. Just finished talking to Evangelist Paulette Holloway. She is the co-author of a new book entitled Reinvented to Rise. And the author of that book is Alethia Turner, along with about 19 other co-authors. All right, she gave you the information on how you can, Alethia Tucker. I'm sorry, I said Turner. All right, well, I'm going to go to my close now. Next week, I think we're going to have a rerun show. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
1 minute left.
Read my column in the Washington Informer newspaper, or give me a call at 240-602-6295. I'd like to invite you out to the All Nations Baptist Church. We're still on conference call this week, Sunday, July 4th, with the All Nations Baptist Church. Join us for our Sunday worship service at 11 a.m. We think we're going to be returning back
30 seconds left
live at July the 11th. So our pastor is Reverend Dr. James Coleman. If you would like to join us online, just say Lindia Grant told you. The number is 202-832-9591. All right. Next week, we're going to have a rerun show, and I'm going to close now. Words, thoughts, and deeds have a boomerang effect, so be careful what you send out. Scripture says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So think on these things from the Lindia Grant Show. I'm your host, Lindia Grant. Until next week, good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lindia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lindia Grant.